We return to great masters, Shostakovich, his life and music. This is Lecture 7, and it is entitled The Thaw. The Thaw and the Tenth Symphony. Shostakovich, as we observed at the end of Lecture 6, was sanguine about Stalin's death. When asked by his student, the composer Edison Denisov, if he, Shostakovich, thought there would now be changes for the better, Shostakovich replied, and we quote, "Edik, the times are new, but the informers are old," unquote. His well-deserved cynicism notwithstanding, Shostakovich's immediate preoccupation following Stalin's death was the release of all the works he had kept out of sight since 1948. The Fourth String Quartet, the Fifth String Quartet, the Violin Concerto No. 1, and the song cycle from Jewish poetry. But truly, the biggest premiere of these years was that of Shostakovich's Symphony No. 10 in E minor, Opus 93. It had been 8 years since Shostakovich had premiered his Ninth Symphony, a work that had gotten him into so much trouble in 1948. Shostakovich's Tenth was premiered in Moscow on December 29, 1953. The piece sparked yet another controversy, but for once, it was a positive controversy. You see, in those heady days after the death of Stalin, a period known as the Thaw, Shostakovich's Tenth became a model for what the new post-Stalin Soviet music might aspire to. A more personal, less explicitly programmatic, more frankly modern musical language that both engaged and challenged its listeners. The Tenth Symphony is among Shostakovich's greatest works. We return to Shostakovich's comments uttered later in life regarding his Ninth and Tenth Symphonies, and I quote, "In my Ninth, I couldn't write an apotheosis to Stalin. I simply couldn't. But I did depict Stalin in music in my next symphony, the Tenth. I wrote it right after Stalin's death, and no one guessed what the symphony was about. It's about Stalin and the Stalin years. The second movement, the scherzo, is a musical portrait of Stalin, roughly speaking," unquote. The second movement of Shostakovich's Tenth is as brutal and vicious as any music he ever wrote. Please, let's sample it. Shostakovich Symphony No. 10, Movement 2. Throughout the third and fourth movements of his Tenth Symphony, Shostakovich uses a musical motive, a melodic idea, over and over again. It consists of 4 pitches: D, E flat, C, B. It sounds like this. Let me play that one more time. The significance of these pitches is huge. They constitute Shostakovich's musical signature. In German, the pitch names are D, S is an E flat, C, H is a B. D, S, D-S-C-H, as in D. Shostakovich. Let's listen, please, to a little of the 10th Symphony, Movement 3, and let's listen for this Shostakovich signature. Shostakovich first used this four-pitch musical signature in his second piano sonata and in his Violin Concerto No. 1. And it would now, in the post-Stalin era, become a recurring feature of his work, as if he was now willing to go on public record that it is I, Dmitri Dmitrievich Shostakovich, that have thought these thoughts and felt these feelings. Nowhere is Shostakovich's self-identification with the spirit of the 10th Symphony more apparent than during its genuinely celebratory last minute. The reiterated D-S-C-H, D-E-flat-C-B motive heard among blaring brass is a clear and unequivocally personal statement. I am here, I am alive, and I can still write. The final moments of the 10th Symphony. Just to play it safe, a few months after the premiere of the 10th, Shostakovich issued a truly absurd apology for the symphony. I wrote too fast. The first movement isn't a proper sonata form. The second movement is too short. The third movement is this. The fourth movement is that, and so forth. Clearly, Shostakovich's amazing exercise in healthy self-criticism was made to head off his critics at the pass and to obviate any need to explain the symphony programmatically. The times are new, but the informers are old. The bottom line, the carping criticisms of some party hacks aside, where are the positive ideas in this symphony? Shostakovich's 10th became an instant classic and was performed across the Soviet Union and abroad. As for Shostakovich himself, after 5 years of disgrace following the decree of 1948, he emerged with his reputation actually enhanced. The sheer quality of his 10th Symphony was a testament to his incredible artistic integrity and imagination.